All right, San Jose, here we are, day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters. Welcome along! And that is why this event had to happen. You're such a fantastic crowd. It was such a fantastic event yesterday. I was talking to Carmack backstage a second ago. If you've been on Reddit, if you've seen any of the tweets, the crowd yesterday made the first day of this, the CSGO event, the biggest one ever to happen in North America. So thank you. Let's start off by saying thank you to you for being so amazing. Listen, I know I'm kissing your ass, but it's true. You really were fantastic. So today is all about winning this cuboid bad boy. This, the Intel Extreme Masters trophy for San Jose. And the teams yesterday, the action was phenomenal. Normally, this place, the SAP Center, the Shark Tank is full of hockey players, 5 guys going all out on each other. Yesterday was like that, but with less shoulder pads. Today is going to be more of the same. And we were hoping that an American team would make it through, a team from the Americas would make it through to the semi-finals. A bit of hometown pride, and they did. Liquid made it through. They will be part, yes, they will be part of our second semi-final. So you ready for the action? Are you ready to CSGO? Yes, you are. So then, let's get this on. The first team, they are slow starters. They say that. They say it's the European way, the way they like to play, slow starters. But with their new lineup, with added AZ, my God, did they look good. So please, San Jose, the Intel Extreme Masters in this 10th year of the IEM, please go wild for G2! Maikelele, that is a good reception.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it really much.
Let's talk about this slow start. You were slow yesterday to get kicked off. You said it's just the way you do it. Why slow? Why a slow start? Why not just go in there, all out from the start?
We didn't have the crowd on our side. I think we're gonna have it today. So today we're gonna show them a real game. You know, we're gonna show these guys, this amazing crowd, everyone, what we're capable of. It's no more slow starters.
And we can't wait to see that. How's AZ fitting in?
Good.
And let's talk about TSM. Now, I've double-checked these facts. Blame Henry G if these are wrong. You lost out to TSM at ESL in the quarterfinals. You lost out to them in Cluj. When you've had 2 losses like that on the bigger stages, how do you approach this match?
We just have to keep our heads high. We know they're a really good team and they're our kryptonite. But right now, I think we can beat them. Like, we can, for sure.
So if they're your kryptonite, if you are Superman to their green blob, what do you do differently? How do you approach that?
Just crush them.
Yeah, just crush them. Maikelele, thank you very much. Join your teammates. So then, let us meet the team they are playing. You know what? They dropped them out yesterday. And in some ways, if you speak to our analysts, they say that is the best thing that could have happened because they are the favorites here. And they don't really like being called the favorites. When they are, it never goes too well. But after they dropped that mat, my God, did they look good. So we're calling them the favorites, although they didn't do any rapping yesterday. I'm going to try in a second. Please welcome to the stage, TSM! Karrigan, if you want to rap at any time, believe me, feel free just to rap along. You can do it in Danish. Let's talk about that drop map yesterday. Was that important? Was that important to make you feel like you had to struggle through the first match, to get yourself into your flow?
I think we had a rough start yesterday against Cloud9, so hopefully we just keep on playing like we did on last map against JMS2, because if we won't play like that, we're going to have a hard matchup.
And let's talk about the problems that you have of being called the favourites. What is that? Whenever you're the favourites, you've not done so well. What is it mentally that doesn't work for you being the big dogs?
I just think it's random, to be honest. We played better at the major, and we were kind of favorites there and had an easy bracket, they said. I just think it's random. I think we proved sometime in the summer that we actually can win, even though we were favorites. So let's hope we can do it again here in the US.
Are you the favourites here?
If people say it, then we are, but we don't care. We just want to win all tournaments.
Are they the favourites? I think that's a yes. Karrigan, join your teammates. Thank you very much. So then, the teams are ready. I guess you're ready. I know you're ready. I've heard that you're ready. So let's get the first of the semi-finals on today. 2 semi-finals, then the show match. More of that later on. That's going to be America versus Europe. You're going to love that. Then, of course, we've got the big final to play off for that trophy. So then, IEM, San Jose, the Shark Tank. With a big noise, let's hand over to the analyst desk and Alex Machine Richardson. Let's go!
Thank you very much, OJ. There's some serious hype coming from the stage already. He's ready to dig his teeth into our first semi-final. He said it already, it's going to be big. TSM G2. And a good question from OJ coming in, just saying, you know, Karrigan, what is it? Why is everyone claiming, kind of throwing this kind of horrible title on you, saying that you struggle under pressure? And he says it's random. I mean, any kind of initial thoughts on that one, Maniac?
I don't know if we can call it random. All I know is that eventually being a favorite comes with more pressure. What comes to my mind is that when you are a favorite, obviously you have more to lose than actually to win. Because if you win the tournament, then fine. I mean, you were the favorite, and we are not even there. So that's cool, but we're going to just leave it on the side. But if you lose, then wait for it. I mean, you're going to get crucified. So obviously, being favorite, that comes with a price. But I mean, Fnatic, they've been favorite for a long, long, long time, and they didn't have any problem winning back then. So I guess if you want to be top 1 all the way, then you have to handle that kind of pressure.
Pressure is definitely mounting for TSM. It's kind of becoming a little too silly now, where they've been at these tournaments and they've been looking to pick up the win quite comfortably. It hasn't been a pretty picture.
But I think for me, what's interesting is that they had this reputation of choking and struggling, especially in semi-finals, all the way back when they were Dignitas and then TSM. But we know they actually overcame it, right? And once they overcame it, you thought, all right, now it's just a question of time before they're going to win one of these major tournaments, right? And somehow that hasn't happened yet. I think that's still a big issue. It's like that they pushed past it and then somehow they fell back down again. I don't know what that is.
It's like when we're talking about, you know, teams getting experience in close matches on land, but then they need experience in overtimes. So now they've figured out, okay, we got past the semis, we know how to win a regular tournament now, but then a major, that happens 3 times a year. You don't get that many chances to prove yourself and be in top shape, in the best mental fortitude, you know, like strength, to be able to go into that match at the right time and win it, right? So they came into it as favorites last time. Next time, I think they're going to be the major threat. They'll have managed to actually get some of that experience, some of that feel of, right, okay, we're the favorites now, how do we handle it?
And I mean, one of those steps to handling is, of course, besting their opponents, G2, to get them to that finals. I think it's safe to say that this is going to be, you would assume, a 3-map affair. We have the maps, and I was wondering if you could walk us through that. You have them in front of you, Anders, especially the banning, because I think that we previously didn't have the banning process, and it's such an important and integral part of those map choices.
Right, so we've got the picks and bans, and just to say this, Maniac did actually kind of call them before we got them.
It's
so
true.
Good job once again.
Matthew's got a bit of a skill.
Yeah. Well,
no way for him to cheat.
That's why we have him on
Zero.
here. That's why he's here. Right, so G2 ends up banning out Dust 2. We did see a little bit of what TSM could do yesterday on Dust 2. They're widely regarded as one of the best Dust 2 teams in the world. I actually still, just from a like purely entertainment point of view, wish they would have played on Dust 2 because that would have been hilarious. But yeah, it's the first map out. Then Train is gone for TSM. They didn't want to play that. So we end up with Cash, Overpass, and Mirage as the 3 maps that are actually picked. Obviously, Cobble and Inferno also being banned out. So yeah, I would say somewhat predictable ban, but a bit sad about Dust 2 being out.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that those maps, for me, they kind of lean onto a 3 maps game, actually. Quite clearly. I mean,
Okay, let's start with Cash.
Yeah, we've been talking together. Like, Cash should normally go G2's ways. They had a good showing yesterday. TSM, historically, not the best team on Cash ever. So I think G2 are pretty confident going into Cash. I guess I would be confident if I was just at G2 right now, I mean. And then Overpass. I mean, when I looked at the veto and I saw that G2 banned actually Dust 2, I knew that TSM would jump onto Overpass as quick as they can. So the Overpass pick for TSM is very dangerous for G2. I would be extremely surprised if G2 were to win Overpass.
So again, it becomes down to that hanging in the balance of Cash. Semler?
Well, it also comes down to the slow start. It's now integral that G2 get that strong start to their success, right? That they get that strong start on Cash. If they don't get Cash, high chances of us just getting a 2-0
Yeah.
out. It's really hard to see them actually being able to take on TSM on Overpass, which is one of TSM's favorite maps.
Can I ask, because this week is, I think it's a very reasonable pick and ban stage. You know, it's driven by logic and a sort of a thought on both teams. You know, what maps are we good at, what maps are the other team bad at. So you try and pick some sort of reasonable compromise. You've got a master's in psychology, and this is the reasonable end of the scale, right? On the other end of the scale, we have teams like NIP, who seem to not be driven by logic when it comes to the picking and banning stage. How easy is it to pick and bang against your opponents? It seems simple from the outside, you know, just pick whatever you're good at, right?
Well, here is my guess. And instead of looking at things like reasonable or not reasonable, you have to think of comfort zone. Okay, so comfort zone for some teams, for some leaders, would be to go like logically, would be to process like, we are good on this map, they are bad on this map, we're gonna pick this. And they feel comfortable because they see the logic. Some teams, like NIP, they actually enjoyed messing up with your mind, with the veto. That was totally part of it. They just would come to the veto and be like, Veto Inferno. Yeah, we're good on it, you didn't see it coming, but Veto Inferno. It's like a comfort zone.
Right, so they're trying to put you out of your comfort zone as well.
Well, at least they are feeling good at what they are doing, and it's like convincing each other, like, we don't need to have a processed veto. We're just going to win anyway.
You know, Exist is one example of that. I don't, you know, there is that, but I think the man who really does that is Happy. Happy's just like, you know what, we'll play our worst map and we'll beat you on our worst map, and then what are you going to do with the rest of the series, bro? Because then we're just going to demolish you everywhere else. Like, it's the total just sheer stubbornness, like, we'll probably lose, but I'll pick it anyway.
See, I'm a firm believer in kind of psychology in CS or in general esports. Like, I'd love to know your thoughts on like this whole. So, okay, let's talk about Fox for a second. People always criticize him as the weaker member of G2. I think that's fair to say.
Because he wasn't in his role on the team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a thousand different things, but I mean, how does that play on your mind, right? This is the question I wanted to ask, is because it kind of. I can't help but feel that's going to only be a bit of a downward spiral for you. If you're having a couple of bad games and then there's however many people on the internet telling you you're bad, surely, I mean, you may have been experiencing that in your time in Titan.
Yeah, that is true, actually. At the beginning of the year, I had a very, down time.
Yeah.
Been criticized a lot. I was playing very bad,
And are you reading this criticism? Everyone says just avoid it. You can't do that.
Well, I think at some point, yes, obviously, you have to put it aside a little bit, but it's always going to get through you. Yeah. Unless you are extremely mentally strong. But then I think what is very important in that kind of scenario is to know and be totally sure that you get your team's trust, confident, you know? If you can actually build a turtle between the 5 players and be like, okay guys, we're together. We do not care what's happening on this forum or this match page and stuff. We're just gonna be together. Then that can actually shield you from the outside. But that is actually a very big task for a team to be able to build that protection.
So it doesn't necessarily just come down to the individual, it comes down to the support framework within your team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I mean, another way to look at it is if you have people who are like the super hard carries in any team, your Forest, your Get Right, something like that, if they internally in the team recognize, well, I'm able to do all of this partly because I've got really good players behind me to help me put me in these positions, and that's why I get to be the superstar for that reason.
Olaf says that every interview.
Olaf says that, Shoxy's another player, you know, these people, if they recognize it, then great, but if they get into a sort of mentality, I think, where they say, I am so good and I don't, you know, I could be on any team and I would be this good, then yeah, that becomes a problem. And I mean, if you're the one getting all the criticism and the person you're helping to look really good doesn't even, you know, turn around and says, you know, we're a team, we're really good with, you know, thanks, that's going to be a bit rough in the long run.
Can you talk a little bit more about the whole Fox not being in his role? Because I pushed you aside for that one.
Well, there was a lot of mix-up. I mean, basically, there was a lot of mix-up at the beginning where when you have all this talent, you need to figure out where exactly everybody's going to shine. And then some people are going to come in and say, well, actually, you know, like, I'm the hard fragger here. These are the roles that I want to play. And then somebody gets pushed to the side, and they are the ones who have to adapt. Now it seems like, you know, ever since Fox has been giving the primary opera role, like, this is your job. You lock down your side of the map with this AWP. It seems like he's kind of come alive, and I think we saw that at Cluj. I mean, sure, it's hard to read too much into one, like, really gigantic performance from him. Of course, he was a big part of them getting so deep into the tournament, him and Jacob, that 1-2 combo. But that seems to me like Fox is finally, you know, being put in the spot that he wants to be in for this team. And
but I mean, imagine how crazy it must be for Fox as well, who's his whole career has been playing in like these obscure Portuguese team where he's been the sole hard carry, like has to done everything, and now he's actually playing as like more a support role, and he's got other people who are as skilled or sometimes more skilled than him.
This comes back to the point I was making with AZ yesterday, right? Just imagine now it's like a AZ or a Kenny or somebody like that who has had to really step up in the past and do a lot of damage to get the team across that finish line. And now, again, they have to come back and they get to say, oh, wait a second. You know, 4 of us can drop 20 bombs, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me dropping a 50. You know, everybody can do some work.
Yeah.
That's a totally different sensation as well. I think, barring the communication, issues obviously that are there with G2, that's a special case. That really allows a player to be able to take a lot of pressure off his shoulders and get more comfortable in the game.
It is something that it often isn't said enough, just how far G2 have risen without having pinpoint communication. The first point we made on this desk was how crucial communication is to a successful
That's
team.
because they have like incredible like role players like Rain,
Right.
People who can, like Rain is probably one of the best clutch players right now in the world. And so imagine you have these issues in the round, right? That there's these minute mistakes that are being made. That's putting your team in a tougher spot than it really needs to be in. And then you're okay. It's like you're in this 1v2 situation, but the man who's in that 1v2 situation is probably the best person to have on your team in there. Rain, one of the best people in the world to close that situation, and he can then get that time to shine and make up.
I'm being told, interrupt him. I'm going to do it. We have a knife round. Let's not miss it. You want to see the side choice. It's Cash, guys. We'll be right back to talk about Cash after this game, but it's time now for your casters. Henry G and Joe, go. I hope we've still got some knife round left.
Alex, you're dead to me.
Thank you very much, Alex. But you weren't fast enough here. Actually, you were fast enough, so we get to let you off. But yeah, welcome, guys. We are going to get into our first map here straight away. Whilst we get underway with the knife round, Henry, I want to give you a little bit of time to, give your thoughts here on, map pool and how we've seen the veto go.
I agree with Mainnet completely. I think Cash is only pointing one direction. It seems like G2, this is their map. They're very strong in it. And if they get the CT side as well, it's going to be very difficult for TSM to actually go forward on this one. Their T side has always been a bit lackluster, in my opinion. They rely very heavily on the picks. If they're not making those picks, it always comes down to the clutches. They rely big on the players like Dupree. And so I think this is going 3 maps all the way. We're going to see Mirage coming up in this one. This is going to be an interesting one. We talk about G2 being slow starters here, and I agree with Seminar as well. These guys need to be making sure they get the strong start here. They lose out on Cash, they're not going to make it to the 3rd map. So hopefully we see G2 turn out. We want to see it go the whole distance. We want to see both teams tested here, go right up against the ropes. So hopefully 3 maps. That's what I'm hoping for, Joe. That's what we all want, right? In the semi-final.
Absolutely. I mean, last time we got to cast together was back in Cologne, and I think it was like a 16-2 or
it was you casted about 20 rounds
game. It was a really crap game. So hopefully today we get a better one for this one. TSM versus G2, and as you mentioned here, this whole what Maikelele said yesterday, we're slow starters, really comes into play in this one because of the fact that if they do start off slowly here, they're going to have some real issues to run into.
They're not going to win overpass. I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to kind of put myself on the line and say if they don't win Cash, the game's over for G2. They need to be making sure they take this one. It's a great opportunity for them. Cash is a very strong map for G2. We know they took Virtus Pro 16-0 famously in Valencia. But it looks like we're getting ready to get into this one. So there's going to be TSM starting on the CT side, G2 on the Ts. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise as we get into this first map of the semi-final. There we go. So looking at the buys here for G2, we've got 3 sets of armor, 2 utility players as well. It's going to be Rain and Maikelele. Looking like they're going to be going towards the A-bomb side, possibly boosting up mid as well.
Interesting start for this one. Maikelele already moving off towards main, and smoke coming in. We've got Rain here, just playing that off position towards B. Just going to make a little bit of noise there and try and cause a couple of little issues. Cajun actually going to spot him. He had a grenade in hand there, so was maybe a little bit slow to react to that one, but Rain certainly making enough noise over towards B, and actually will pick up the first kill of the game here, taking down Dupree. We can see that TSM not really pulled themselves away from this A-bomb site, which is wise here, as Device will pick up one. Rain, in the meantime, cleared out this B-bomb site all alone. Maikelele's going to get one, and now Rain is going to push in from the backside. He won't even be needed, though. G2 walking on in, and what a start for them, losing just the 1 man.
What a way to set the tone for the game there. Rain going towards B by himself, getting to the checkers room. He was the distraction there. The rest of his team waiting, lying in wait towards that A area. They're in squeaky door. He gets 2 frags towards B as well. A dream scenario for them. Make their way into the A-bomb site. Nothing they could do for TSM there. And looking at their buy now, they've gone for the Desert Eagles. And you'd think this is probably an easy round for G2 going forward, but TSM, the best Eagle players in the world. Maikelele opening things up, taking down karrigan. It looks like it's going to be a bloodbath towards middle. Full control gain, and there's the 3rd frag as well. Comes down to the 5-on-2 situation, and just Dupree and Cajun B remaining now.
Cajun B does get one back though, so a small glimmer of hope. If you look at the health bars there for G2, you know, there's definitely a couple for the taking. Rain only with 30 health. AZ only got 14, but AZ will shut down Cajun. It's now all on to Dupree. As he said, Deagle in hand for him, so going to have to come up absolutely massive if they're to take this one. But we said G2 have to get off to a good start, and so far that is certainly being the case for them.
Yeah, so what they did there, went towards the mid control, staying together as a tight pack there, making sure they're going frag for frag. If anyone was taken down, they've got the teammates right there to get the reply straight away. Just Dupree remaining. The good thing for TSM is although they've got Desert Eagles, they didn't force fire into this one. That means they can have an AWP going into the gun round. They're not going to limit themselves too much here. So they're looking to play the long game here, playing the percentages, making sure they have the whole chance of getting into this one properly instead of actually limiting themselves with pharmacies and scouts, etc. So this isn't too bad for TSM. Obviously, they need to. It's going to be a complete throwaway around this time. They can't justify anything more than a couple of P250s. G2 are going to be aware of this. This is a round they can probably do more of the same. They could either just hold back for a little bit, choose one area and swarm in, or they could just boost up to middle once again. There's not really much TSM can do to hold them off. This is just a round of trying to damage their economy in any way they can. The P250s can be strong in certain situations. It looks like the boost will be coming up towards middle again, so expect another absolute bloodbath here.
Yeah, it looks like 3 of them actually going to boost straight over there. And as expected, USP versus AK at that kind of range is a little bit of a one-sided affair. And honestly, at this point, G2 can waltz on straight in towards this A-bomb site. We see that Jacob already pushed up towards Truck to get that early frag there onto device. And there's no one else even left around this A site, so bomb's going to go down here shortly. Just a case of really mopping up, and as you mentioned for TSM, trying to get a kill or a couple of kills at this stage is basically the most that they're going to be hoping for. And I don't think that's even going to happen for them. In fact, almost a knife from Maikelele, and that will be the 3-0. So Pistol and the following 2 rounds converted for G2. This is where we start to see, though, what kind of fight TSM are going to be putting up.
Oh, absolutely. Looking at that buy right now, they didn't actually get the AWP. karrigan actually quite famous for holding the sandbags area, always good for 1 or 2 frags in that position. So potentially a different setup coming in towards this one. They're going for a 2-2-1 setup. It's going to be 2 CD players towards middle, and it looks like actually G2 are going for a faster A play here. 3 players in the storage so far. There's only going to be Zipex waiting for them. So what kind of pace are they planning to go on here? Going to be smoked off at the start of the round. That's going to slow them down. So it looks like maybe a more methodical approach to the bomb site here. They're just waiting. You can see one player. It's going to be Rain once again towards B. Very good in the pistol round. Only be able to cause the same amount of noise here to get some attention towards that B side.
Lurking. We'll pick anyone off that rotates here once the button is pressed for G2 over towards that A-bomb site. For now, though, TSM playing this one passively, not giving any opportunities for G2 to get those entries. Zipnix will be playing a little bit set back here by that red box as we see another flash go into main, and AZ is going to pick off device. So opening frag, that's 1 man down on this A-bomb site. We see there those Molotovs going off towards quad, off towards that MBK corner as well. And G2 already moving out. Here is karrigan up high though, and he'll take down the bomb carrier. Zipnix will also find AZ. So really nice work here. The 2 men on this A-bomb site for TSM combining well to hold them off. And there's only 30 seconds of the round to go. At some point, G2 are going to have to start making a move around. They finally do get one back thanks to Fox, but Zipnix here playing up close. He's going to wipe the floor with him. Only Fox remains now for G2. This is surely going to be a TSM round. 18 seconds remaining. Bomb is down, and Fox got all the work to do. There is a man for him. We'll actually find Dupree there, but he's got another 2 to kill. Will get 1. He's now only against Cajun B. 6 seconds to go. Cajun going to try and run down the clock. Here comes Fox, but Cajun will get it. And so close by Fox. His hand forced really there in the end, thanks to that timer.
Absolutely. The fact he had 5 seconds there and he had to find him, he just went all in on that ticket box position. Could have made the kill though. 3-on-1 would have been absolutely fantastic for G2 going forward there. But they got the first pick. AZ made it happen, but they just bundled into the bomb site at that point. They could have slowed it down a little bit, waited for the CT reaction to come in, and then executed on the bomb site and using their man advantage correctly. But they decided to go in once the kill had happened and got just taken down by karrigan and Zipex there on the bomb site. So unfortunate round for them. They are going to be buying back into this one. And looking at their money for TSM, even after they won that round, it came down to the 1-on-1. You can see how that's affected their money. Only going to have Famases and the AK save from the last round, from the last player there. So G2 definitely still have the advantage going forward. Farmed a lot of money on their anti-eco round. So AWP picked up on Maikelele. And what can they do with it? Slowing it down once again. CT's definitely on the back foot here. You can see their utility, not much to speak of, and only 1 kit that's on device.
Well, we saw yesterday that kits are a vital component for all CT sides.
Absolutely.
A little bit of an embarrassing round from CLG yesterday, thanks to that one. But we actually saw at the start of this one, Maikelele tag karrigan through the wall in towards middle. For now, though, surely won't be given any opportunity to land a first shot. We're going to have Device playing on top of Forklift, and that flash will work out brilliantly for him. A second one will come out, and that'll give him the opportunity to get frag number 2. He can't find the third, though, with Fox coming in, and AZ also will get himself a frag, and that means they are now in onto this A-bomb site. KGB going to come up from middle. We're going to have karrigan here pushing around the side. Almost had himself a free kill there onto the man on quad, but bomb is ticking away, but it is a man advantage for TSM. This is the opportunity that they need. One man does go down to bring us back to a tied game in terms of who's left, but all of a sudden it's just Jacob. He finds the head brilliantly of Dupree, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Sprays down KGB, who is out in the open on top of the red box. And a brilliant little finish to that round once again. Jacob, who I think was actually pretty much the best man for G2 yesterday, statistics-wise.
Yeah, the major as well. He was absolutely fantastic. This guy is a sensational player. The problem for the CTs there, the lack of utility they had. They couldn't Molotov towards quad. They just had to go and face check it. Didn't have the kits as well. There was no time to actually take the bomb site correctly. So running in and hoping for the best. Jacob pretty easy clutch to close things out there. The problem for TSM is this resets their money as well. Only $1,400 going into their bank accounts. G2 aware of this situation, doing a tactical push towards B. Dupree down to the B250, burnt alive and taken down by Maikelele. The B bomb site is open now. KGB actually chimes in, taking down Jacob himself, but that's going to be it. Just Zipex and Device remaining.
Well, we'll see the first one fall, and now Device, just the CZ, no armor, no utility to work with. Pretty much the impossible scenario for him. His best opportunity will maybe to make this one a little more expensive for G2. If it goes well for him, take a gun possibly through into that next round. We see him just watching out for vents at this point, but he's not going to get much of an opportunity there. That Molotov will alert him that someone at least was down on the ground by checkers. And actually, Maikelele just going to walk away. There is the CZ kill on towards Fox. Maikelele is there, so no gun taken away. The 1 kill really for TSM is all that they got from the end of that round, but that will bring us to a 5-1 lead here, T-side for G2.
I was going to say, this is going to probably put TSM onto another eco here. That was, all signs are pointing to that. They had about 3k average across the board, but they're going to be forcing this one. Once again with the Famases, M4 and the Max 7 on Dupree. No kits once again. 4 smokes to play with, but not much else. So another difficult round for them. AZ is going to be forcing the issue. Going out through that smoke towards middle, he takes a lot of damage, but Rain taking down karrigan. That's going to open on mid.
Well, AZ not seeming to be phased there by the fact that he was getting some shots through the smoke. Nice little grenade comes towards Device as well, but it's Lipex and KGB to pick up the kills. Only 2 men left here all of a sudden from G2, so this decision to force up from TSM is so far paying off for them. Both Jacob and Maikelele left standing in this one. There should be a free kill here for Jacob, and just like that, it's turned on its head back to a 2v2. Bomb is, for them, sadly down, though. We actually have KGB coming around the back here. We'll get the kill onto Jacob, so making this one now incredibly difficult for Maikelele. But tell you what, if someone can clutch a round like this, he probably is that man.
Well, he's got enough time to play with. The bomb is in reach of him as well. The CTs, they need to be very careful. They've got Device on 6 HP. He's going to be with his teammate as well. The best idea to go with them is use the buddy system. Allow him to plan always, and just make sure you retake together. Pins to him. Don't allow him to have a one-on-one situation. You see him making his way to his B storage now. KGB in the perfect position to lock this down. This should be tied up. There we go. Nice play from TSM there, making sure they lock down that round. Like you said, the force buy, that was a round they needed to win. They could feel this game slipping away from them. They decided to take that risk almost to force buy into that one. It pays off. The mid push from G2 getting shut down almost instantaneously there. They got their mid crossfire coming in. It's a very nice round for them. They've actually broken the economy of G2 as well. They're going to be in with a quasi buy this round. That essentially means you can get some Tech 9s, some armor, a few grenades and stuff, and it means you keep your bank around 2k and you have a full buy going into the next round. They're going to be going 5 men towards B. Contact B, we call this. Wait until you get some enemy spotted, then you just rush in.
Well, let's have a look, because the first one that they spot there will be Dupree on the site itself. They've got Zipex up high there as well. So a 2-for-1 start, and just feels like mopping up with them at this point. Jacob does manage to get in there, so we are going to see a bomb plant here for G2, and they'll be defending against 3 men. Actually, Jacob didn't plant on that one, so if there was a grenade or what have you to maybe push him away from that decision. What we shall see. He is still there. They've still got a minute, so not exactly the most pressing at this point, but considering that buy for them this round, getting the bomb down is a bonus, and maybe, just maybe, this round doesn't end there either. There's a flash coming in towards Checkers. Jacob will be shut down, but it's all now on Asian. The bomb is planted for him there, so he could have a good go at this one. He did spot the one man, got Device down to 14, but great cover fire from Cajun B. Diffuser's going to come in. Overall, 3 kills, bomb plant. Probably a good round where G2 are thinking, okay, that was worth.
Absolutely. That was a very successful quasi-buy from them. When the fact you get 3 kills, you can see how that's affected the CT's money as well, and they get the bomb down. So that's going to put G2 in a fantastic position. An extra $800 coming into the accounts there. And now this actually puts TSM in a very vulnerable position. If they lose this round, they're definitely on ecos. This is the big round for Reva teams here. No AWPs on both sides. Looks like G2 actually opting to go 5 men towards the A bomb side. You'd assume a faster paced tactic here. They've got no control on any other parts of the map here, so they're kind of committed to A. You can see the smokes coming over. This is a fast execution.
One going to bounce out to cover from quad there. Zivex is up close. Personal device there as well by the forklift. Done a lot of damage here as he goes through. Will stay up close. Zivex just going to spray on through. Will take down Jacob. And he's still holding around by quad. One jumps through the smoke. Fox actually getting the better of him. And just like that, 3 kills coming in for G2. They should be allowed to get the plant. And just like that, it's Dupree left alone. 1 versus 3. With that bomb about to be planted by Maikelele. What can Dupree do here? We'll get the first one, but still facing an uphill challenge. We can see there he decides, I'm just going to run away from this one. I'm going to keep that weapon, as you said, a little bit close on money here, TSM. And this round is going to hurt them economically. Nice little kill there for Maikelele, and I think Dupree with that kill might now say, you know what, possibly?
Is
AZ going to offer himself
he
to
had
me
a little,
as well?
He had a little face-up highway. For some reason, he's facing me. I could actually win the round, but it looks like they actually will find each other. Dupree will be going down there, but that was actually a really nice round from G2. They've been showing so much mid-presence from the last previous round. They decided, you know what, let's go straight towards A. Fast execution. Smokes go down in the key areas. Highway, quad, flashbangs come out. They push through onto quad there, and the CTs just fell apart. And that was a huge round to win, actually, as I mentioned before. And the interesting thing is, Joe, they're actually going to be going for the force buy here. They're going to be double eco anyway, so they might as well have a go. Desert Eagles coming out. Famus's body armor going to be trying everything they can here with the pistols. Just Device with the rifle here. And it seems like G2 once again back towards mid.
Yeah, trying to get early control once again. And they do that with the first kill. Almost taking a second, and by almost, not really much of it even connected. I expected more damage to come in onto Device. Wasn't the case though, so he stays alive with that single rifle that TSM have there in the form of the FAMAS. And again, that hold on mid allows you to play a little bit more freely, get themselves up highway, even push straight on through towards that CT spawn and split the map in half here. Cause a little bit of chaos for TSM. There are the kills being exchanged, 1 apiece. I'm not sure they can get their hands on any weapons here as Jacob will push on through. Maikelele just saying where he had no idea where that kill actually came from. karrigan was left alone on A, and that leaves just Dupree. And bomb's going to be planted. Dupree not got much of a chance on this one. Did a little bit of damage there to Rain, but in the end, inevitably goes down. And 7-3 up here for G2 on the T side. This is a fantastic start.
This is the start we wanted for G2. We said they had to come out of the trap strong, and my God, have they done it. Very convincing round so far. The problem for TSM, they haven't really stabilized the economy at any point in this game. They keep winning a round and losing the subsequent one after. That resets the money. They're not getting the AWPs. They're getting no foundations to build on here. And now the money absolutely obliterated. Just USPs, another B push coming in from G2, and this is a round that's going to fall apart for TSM once again.
Well, Fox spraying down about a third of HP from 2 teammates, so that's something that might catch you out in a round like this, because certainly the equipment that TSM are running with probably won't be a problem for you. There is karrigan coming in again, damage done, but unable to stop the plant happening. And again, it's just a case of G2 staying safe, not throwing away any of those weapons, and finishing off those remaining 2 men. In fact, Maikelele might just fill his boots here and take out both of them. He will indeed. Easy finish for them, and that's the lead guaranteed now for G2 moving in towards the half-time, but it's only, you know, round 12 at this stage, so that lead could actually be fairly massive if things carry on the way they are.
This is the thing, once again, TSM, no AWP. karrigan can be very strong on this map, quite a mobile AWPer, likes to play around middle, and that would be a great asset for them, considering the mid pushes that are coming in so much. He could find that first pick, fall back, get the intel, they're doing it. Now they're having to commit 3 men once again towards middle to try and lock down these pushes coming in. It looks like G2 going back towards that A play. 5 men committed to that area. It's going to be a straight-up rush here.
No messing around for them, to be honest. There is the Apex to get one, but AZ will quickly bring it back, and it's kill for kill at this point, but importantly, they've cleared out the site, which is going to allow them to get that bomb in position, and now sit back, try and defend after the fact. This should be an easy kill for Maikelele, or not.
Not so easy.
He just flashes on by, but he got the information there, and that allows Fox to really take out Dupree, and the man advantage safely in the hands of G2, or at least you'd think it would be. Now it's up to Maikelele, who's got to do himself a little bit of clutching. He's off there, he's off the direction, not working out for him in Device. He's going to just hold on to the defuse from this one. Maikelele needs to go, can't get through the door. And, well, put himself between a rock and a hard place there. I expected, honestly, that the man from Quad going to stay quiet in that position and, just stay alive to give him that extra little bit of time.
The fact that TSM didn't have any kits there as well, that round looked tied up for Maikelele, but he got smoked off at the door. Not really much you can do. I would have said still take the risk, try and run through that smoke and see what you can do with it. He kind of admitted defeat, and then he realized there was no kit in place, then tried to come through. It was too late at that point. Nice fast push from G2 there. They're getting shut down, and finally TSM have some footing going into round number 13 there, but that's not going to help. AZ finding that first pick once again before they actually committed to the bomb site after getting this pick. I'd like them to slow down now, methodically take the bomb site and use the man advantage to get into one of the areas here.
There've been a lot of rounds here that have gone kind of kill for kill exchanges. Really, really close. Cajun beat. Again, trying to hold on to this middle area. And we've seen G2, when they've had control of this mid area, they've been able to push them through and take these bomb sites with greater ease. But now, though, Cajun is managing to hold that one, but we see the double smokes come flying through, and that's kind of a step-by-step, if you like, going through. Cajun a little bit unlucky on timing there. He looked up towards the boost in the exact moment that Maikelele came around the corner. Gives Maikelele the free kill. Dupree, though, has taken the bomb carrier down, so they know the bomb now is by Checkers. They can molly this one off, bring that A defender back around the side to try and help with the defense of this one. Device and Dupree really combining well, and it leaves just Jacob, statistically, as we've said, being the best player here for G2 so far from yesterday. Can he clutch this round to put G2 up to 9 rounds? One man's going to come in from behind. He gets that one, and it's an easy kill onto karrigan. He's got 16 seconds, so time working against him. This is a risky plant position. Actually, will spot the man up high, so he knows that he's free to plant behind the boxes. Question is, who gets the better of this scenario? Grenade gonna bounce around the corner. Zero damage done, but he won't need the grenade. And look at the cool composure there of Jacob. Looks like it's now in an everyday scenario for him, clutching around like that.
That's just TSM approaching that situation very poorly, I'm afraid, Joe. The fact that they had 19 seconds remaining on the clock, they knew he had the plant. They had perfect positions to pincer him once he was planting the bomb. karrigan forcing the issue there, going for the vent, making it a one-on-one situation. That's a very bad decision. Look at the round. It's actually put them onto another eco here. They needed to just play communication, make him plant, and then take it down. And now this should be a round going only one way. They're going to be pushing B once again, finding the first 2 frags. Dupree answers back, making it the 4 and 3, but not really much you can do. It's another force buy from TSM, They force with the pistols, and I think this is almost a game that's run too far away from them. Oh, maybe it's a 2-on-2. Maybe they can do something with it.
And the almost scary thing here, we heard earlier on, not a lot of confidence in G2 when it comes to overpass, so we said, they have to come out, they have to win cash here, but surely there's a danger as well from TSM's side that if they get beaten too heavily on this first map, the mindset that kind of comes in with that afterwards could be a little bit dangerous for them. G2 up to double figures from the first half on the T side.
Well, that's the force buy as well, so they go into the last round, Joe, with literally no money again. So they get Scouts, Desert Eagles. This has been an absolute nightmare for TSM. They've never really got rolling on this one. I don't think they've had an AWP once this entire half, and that just goes to show you how difficult it's been for them. Every round they win, it goes down to one-on-one situations, and then they're having blunders like that 2-on-1 against Jacob as well. This is just not the TSM we expect to see in the semi-final day here. But we go into round number 15. If they can find this one, there's a glimmer of hope there, but I'm not feeling too confident about that. The AWP is going to be on Fox this time, and you can see them just taking their time a little bit, going for mid-control again. karrigan's going to be pushing through, finds the first kill onto Maikelele. Now they can have something to work with here.
Well, one weapon in their hands, of course. They do have that Scout, so he could maybe set something up with that one. And look at this device has managed to get on through, spraying with a CZ. Somehow gets out of there alive as well. He can thank his lucky stars for that one. Jacob knows that there's one man by the forklift, and well, they're just going to flame Zipex away from that position. There's a couple of men bleeding heavily from this one, which means that G2 all about just cleaning up those last couple of kills and trying not to take too much damage as they go through. KJB does manage to get one back here. So it's not exactly the cleanest round thus far. That grenade will explode easy, so only Rain here left standing. He is against, you know, very little, let's call it, from TSM in terms of Scout and a Deagle. And if they line up for it, it'll make it all easier. There's Debris coming out, and you know, could be a crucial round in the end. G2 won't be happy kind of losing that one, but overall the picture is still very, very good for them. 10-5 up on the T side.
Well, we're used to TSM on their CT side on Cash. That's the brick wall. That's the one people can't seem to get through. It's just when TSM get onto the T side, that's when they seem to have these kind of blunders. They don't have the same tactical approach, that hybrid strategy, even working picks and having those set executions doesn't really seem to work out for them too well. So I'm not really feeling too confident for TSM, but if they get a pistol, you know, there's always a chance they can do exactly the same thing back. They just need to wake up now. The key players aren't really fragging for me. You see karrigan there, we expect him to go in big and middle. He's currently sat on 7 frags. Device as well, had a quiet game on 8. That's a CT half. Like, statistically, it's only very slightly advantageous to be on that side, but you want to have a better scoreline than 10-5. G2 definitely in the driving seat here. This is the half they actually 16-0'd VP on over the 15-0 on CT, so you know they can play it very well. The pistol round's going to set the tone for the rest of the game, I feel. G2 get it, that's pretty much GG at that stage.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing for TSM as well, in a way. You know, a hard-fought comeback to end up losing anyway is always a bit of a dig, if you like.
Well, this is the thing of it, like, it's always worse to get to like the 16-14 scoreline and fight your way back and then lose. I find that a lot more crippling.
Yeah.
10-5, to be fair, like it's workable. It's not over yet. Like I said, they get the pistol and they can convert that to the 3-0 as well. They have a real chance of getting back into this one. TSM, you can never rule them out of any situation. They've got such godlike players in their team. If Device and Dupree can start rolling, Dupree, especially on the T side, he's an amazing clutcher on this map. If they can get him into some sort of situation as post-plant, he can work some magic here. So definitely don't rule them out, but if they do lose the pistol, as I said, this is going to be a very hard, drawn-out affair for them. Looks like we have got a slight pause here. They're taking advantage of the full pause time and the switch here, making sure they approach the pistol round correctly. It'll be interesting to see what TSM decide to do on this pistol round. A lot of teams will opt to rush B these days. It means you can kind of just swarm the bomb site, and the only thing the CTs can really do is stack people there. And 9 times out of 10, I'm just having a look. What is this? Play with passion. That's the motto I like to go with as well.
Always with passion.
Always with passion.
It's always a good thing to have. Let's not forget that TSM, the map that they lost yesterday as well against Cloud9, was Cash. That was another game where they were 10-5 behind from the half, albeit, you know, roles reversed. That was from the CT side of Cloud9, but they also brought that one back all the way to 16-14, end up losing, and then obviously had that 16-5 dominating performance on Dust 2 to actually win off the game. But this is, you know, a different ball game. This is map number 1 here, and it throws a load of pressure for the second half and for map number 2. We're going to see instant contact here over by that B site, and an instant exchange of kills. Jacob here up close and personal, surely will get killed off, but almost bought more time here for G2 with the fact that they've managed to rotate a couple of men around. Bomb carrier goes down, and we're in a 2-on-2 scenario early on in the round here. Bomb is going to move on towards the site to try and get planted, and it's going to be Device and Zipex versus Maikelele and AZ. That smoke going to clear out here in just a second. There is one flash for Zipex, and that is going to be it. There we see Tech9's in action.
Oh.
Wow, just like that, combining. Just going to push in at exactly the same time. And, well, I thought that kind of after-plant scenario was going to last a little bit longer. They both went down at exactly the same time.
Brutal. They both face and then to get their heads ripped off. It just shows you what kind of gear G2 are in right now. On form, it has to be said. But there we go, TSM going for that full B rush there. They do get the bomb down to put some... Oh, I was going to say they could actually afford to buy AKs next round. They're going all in this time. So they're going to be dropping AK-47s for the players that got kills. You can see, I think there's 2 AKs on the board, yeah. So they're going in on this one. Problem is, G2 have got rifles as well. They're going to have a good read on this. Big round coming in. TSM definitely with some good footing into it. They've got smokes, AKs, and Tech9s to work with. Let's see what they can do with it.
Well, pretty much all or nothing at this stage for TSM. There's a little boost up from checkers for Jacob in towards Vent, so he's going to get a nice bit of a read early on. Say, okay, they've not, at least until now, contested for middle. We'll see a boost up by Cajun B. We'll see if he's able to spot out Rain. I think he did just spot him there as that flashbang did just drop. There is Jacob inside event, so as expected, that boost proving to be really, really crucial. Meanwhile, Rain with the MP7 will pick off Cajun, so it's horrible start really in terms of numbers here for TSM at the start of this round. There's another one going down and it's just falling to bits.
Absolutely, there's not really much you can do with this now. 5-on-2, they still have the AK on device. He hasn't got armor though, he's going to get ripped apart by that MP7. At this point, they need to find kills right away. That's going to help Device and karrigan finding kills. And now brings it to the 3-on-2. There is a glimmer of hope here, but there's only 30 seconds remaining. AZ coming in the back here is going to be pincering the remaining Ts.
AZ and a face here against karrigan, and we'll get the better of him. With now just Device left standing, and well, quick kill coming in for Maikelele there at the end. So that was basically the round here for TSM, saying, okay, we've got to try something at this point, otherwise it's going to slip away from us anyway. They lose the round, it's 12-5, G2 firmly in the driving seat.
Yeah, that was the Hail Mary play for sure. It's going in with the AK-47s. When you have a round that close, you have players with kills. You have 2 players on Tech 9s, they can drop AK-47s to the guys that buy armor. The idea is they work the picks and open up bomb sites for you. Unfortunately, they've got completely shut down towards middle. They're going to be onto the P250 round this time, and you would assume G2 going on to the 13th round if they make their way towards the A-bomb site.
Nade coming in there, and we saw Device almost being finished off instantly by a good little bit of spray from Maikelele as well. And Device thinking, I've not even seen anyone, and I've got 20 HP left at the start of this round. Obviously, full eco really, just a couple of those P250s there for TSM to work with, so chances not high anyway at this stage of things. As you see Maikelele getting himself one, and this is just one of those simple rounds that should just be put into the books. No problem really for G2 at all. Didn't lose a single man, no bomb plan. It's 13-5. We are going to see TSM this round though buying up, so if that Hail Mary round wasn't kind of the last-ish attempt, then this certainly becomes it.
Well, this is the round. G2 have such a huge better round to play. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something a little bit audacious, went in for a push into B storage for something like that. It looks like they may be doing that, you know, because they've got 3 players committed to that site, and they will be doing that, Joe. This is the time you take the game to them and lock it down before they have a chance to even execute a strategy.
Well, Cajun B is going to, well, the flash worked out brilliant for him there. I was going to say he's going to run straight into 3 men, but in the end, he forced them away with a flash, got himself a kill, and got out alive as well. So nice little start. Of course, it didn't come without any damage. They did lose karrigan. There's AZ as well, getting the kill onto Dupree. So it's 3 versus 4, albeit with Rain only on 15 health. But still plenty of utility to work with for G2. On TSM side, they got a single smoke and 3 flashes, which makes things a little bit more tricky for them, especially with a man disadvantage at this point. As we hit 1 minute of this round still remaining. Device here gonna push on through towards highway, and saw the flash coming over the top, so decides to back away. Will try and just flash over the top of the box, peeks around, gets the kill onto AZ, but he lost a teammate in the process of that one, so it still is advantage G2, especially with Device so low. Oh, well, I was gonna say,
there it is.
He's gonna be finished off. Cajun now 15 HP, does get the kill onto Fox, and well, I was gonna say maybe we'll manage to get through from this one. We're just having a little bit of a peek at TSM to see frustration levels as that round falls away from them, and of course now got no money to really work with. It's going to be a bunch of Tech 9s. The score 14-5 for G2.
That was the round, as I predicted, kind of like that's the perfect time to do a B rush into it. Take the game to them. Don't allow them to execute any sort of ideas they've got. Take the game to them. Get in their faces. They found the first couple of frags. They made it very uncomfortable for TSM, and it just fell apart from them from there. We go into round number 20. It looks like a full-on A execute. Smoke's going over the top. Try and get a post-plant situation going. But AZ, he's not allowing any of that to happen. He just pushes in, no fear. Takes down Zipex as well, and that's going to be an absolute catastrophe for TSM going forward in this round.
Yeah, post-plan, AZ says, you won't mate, you're not getting through for this one. There's a push-up from karrigan. Actually, will double up here with a Tech 9, almost getting the 3rd as well. Rain did manage to finish him off, but he'll be burnt out of position there, forced to back away towards middle. And I tell you what, they don't want to be bunching up at the back there, because there's a grenade and a Molotov still to be thrown here by Jacob. They've got plenty of time to work with. They do have that 1 kit in the hands of Jacob, and he's just going to go belting through towards the forklift. Gets himself one, will come around the corner to find the 2nd. There's 1 man behind him on quad, and he can't quite hold on to it. Kit in the hands of Rain. Defuse comes in. It's map point for G2.
Yep, there we go then. That's pretty much the final nail in the coffin, Joe. The fact they're on 15-5 now, the money is decent for TSM. They can have another bite here, but they need 10 in a row just to take it to overtime. On the T side, It's a very tall order, I'm afraid. So now then, G2 will be coming in with the AWP on Fox. They know how much of a comfortable position they are. Now they can sit back. They don't need to be the big plays into where they've got themselves to overtime. Just let the game come to them, make TSM work for it, and let's see what their approach is going into round number 21 now.
And at this point, you know, if you're TSM, you never really want to lose it anyway, but the fact is when you get to this scenario, you may even think, is it even worth, you know, completely burning ourselves out for trying to get these 10 rounds in a row to force us into overtime, which is not looking likely, honestly, the way that this first map has gone for TSM. Or, you know, you just let this one move away, you go outside for 10 minutes, have a bit of a chat, move into overpass.
Don't expend the adrenaline just yet. It takes so much hard work to get into this one. I think at this point, especially when it's 5-on-3 and make it a 5-on-2, this one is over now. Maikelele should be able to pick up these last 2 frags as well. Gets one. Actually, AZ takes that one from him, and it's going to be Rain to finish things out there. So 16-5 in favour of G2. We said that map favoured them. I don't think we expected a scoreline like that. That was a phenomenal performance from them. The slow start did not come into fruition. They came out the trap very strong indeed. And TSM looking a little bit bewildered.
Maikelele and Jacob made a swift handshake there. Job done for them, but it's only half the job so far. Of course, best of 3, so they're going to be moving on to overpass. And, well, TSM, we were talking about slow starts. They were a non-starter in map number 1. Really never looked like they had any kind of chance, to be fair.
Yeah, even after that 10-5 start, we said, okay, they could come back into it, they win the pistol, but they just got shut down at every venture. There's no real glimmer of hope that they forced ball on the second round and thought, okay, this is a sensible decision, maybe they can do something a bit, but they just weren't fragging, essentially. Like, their CT side, very poor, didn't really get rolling whatsoever. So, unfortunately for them, that's not going to be good enough. We do favour them going into overpass, though, but how that's going to go down after that, that just came down to the fragging, really. They need to really get into 5th gear now if they're going to have any chance of taking this best of 3.
Needs to be a complete reset for TSM, that's for sure. We are going to be getting into that second map here shortly, of course, but first of all, Alex Washing Machine Richardson is going to break down the game with his band of merry men.
Thank you, Joe. Don't call me Joe, Joe Miller. We're going to be talking a little bit about that one. A fantastic first map from G2. I think Henry summarized it quite nicely, saying we expected G2 to make it, you know, to pick up the win eventually, but not in that style. 16-5, an astounding victory over TSM. Maniac, Anders, and Semler standing by to talk about that one somewhat. And I think the first point, let's start at the beginning. G2's T side. Let's address that first.
Yeah, I really had the impression that they had such a wide playbook. I mean, the diversity, as Henry pointed out, was extremely, extremely well executed. Like, they would, for example, at the beginning of the game, they would put a lot of pressure in the middle, like clear the arena, as we've been talking yesterday about the importance of the middle. And then, when they had TSM being like threatened by this middle, they would like have an execute on A, they would insta like kill the B and just go accelerate on the B side. I mean, TSM never knew what was coming their way. And that's because G2 had this variation in their game as T side, and it was very impressive. And also, I want to point out that 10-5 was the scoreline, I think.
Yes.
G2 winning all the key rounds. TSM always winning a round, then losing right after that. No bonus money, have to eco or double eco at the best. Force buy, light buy, Kevlar and stuff. But G2, they
clutch.
Yeah, and that exactly. You see, they win this round. After that, TSM has no money, and that was like this all the side. So just perfect side from G2, really.
Yeah, I want to address the
you
JK
made
point.
here,
Yeah, go hit it.
Because we're discussing, you know, stars working together. Everybody's calling on G2. How, if you're TSM, do you predict what's going to happen if they don't even know what's going to happen themselves?
So they don't have a current, like, an IG.
No?
Well, Rain was saying he wasn't particularly comfortable with calling there. He felt like it was a lot of pressure. So, I mean, yeah, if they're all chiming in, it's true. It could be a little bit hard to predict, you know, exactly what style is coming out. Interestingly, another team that's really hard to predict is Virtus Pro, and they've been switching game leaders for as long as they've been around. Yeah. I mean, not necessarily. Well, actually, sometimes in tournaments too.
Yeah, halfway through.
Certainly, that will make it a little bit tricky. I mean, that particular clutch that we saw with Jacob also highlights some of the mistakes that we really shouldn't be seeing from TSM. I think that's actually not acceptable at this level. When you're in a 2v1 or 1v, I think it was in a 1v3 at some point. I think he killed Dupree behind the boxes, right, first. So when you've got that time left and you've got 3 people against 1 like that, they should be able to zone him out. Not to take anything from Jacob, because it's, again, this is what we're talking about with professionalism. And I actually think in Jacob's case, he hasn't had enough experience, which is also why, you know, Jacob has like sort of raw talent. because under that kind of pressure and semifinals, all that stuff, he should be making some mistakes there, and he just doesn't. So it's super cool. But TSM are making mistakes, and that's allowing for Jacob to shine.
And I mean, you kind of, the recurring theme in our green room was just JKM's so good. In fact, your words before he picked up that clutch on Cash was, this is an easy one for JKM.
Yeah.
How can someone have such proficiency in clutch situations?
Supreme confidence.
Confidence.
Supreme.
Well, I mean,
no, it's not just confidence.
Luck? Okay.
It's not just confidence. It's supreme confidence. Like Jacob, in the way that he's played and developed over the past 9 months since he was on LGB Red, or LGB, at the beginning of the year, you started to see it a little bit, but then again, these were his first lands. This is the crazy thing with Jacob, is just how fast he's improved. Because this guy's only just started going to lands at the beginning of this year. It was Pantamera, I think, in January, the first one that he did.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking like, where the hell did this guy actually, just decide, you know what, there should be this ramp-up period where, I'm going to take a year to form up, and then maybe I can start, really taking a crack at the top. He just like, cuts to the front of the line. Very un-Scandinavian of him, by the way. Gets right in the front of the line and says, you know what, actually, I'm going to be the guy that's just going to wreck you all, and, you're just going to have to deal with that.
I have like a kind of Eye of the Tiger montage kind of thing going on for Jacob, just rising to the top so damn fast. And the thing I wanted to point out is that I remember talking to, I think it was Halvoy in a Vendetta over at the Katowice offline qualifiers, and he was like, oh yeah, and you were pronouncing his name wrong, by the way. Have you heard of JKM? I was like, yeah, no, I casted him once. Yeah, he's going to be really, really popular, really, really fast. Alvor called that. I've only just remembered it when you were talking about how his quick rise to power, but he's definitely someone that was on some people's radar a while ago.
Right, so at the beginning of that rise, our favorite thing to say about Jacob was always that, well, he's very good mechanically. He's always got like really good raw aim, but he makes really bad decisions when he's left to his own. When he has to make his own choices, then it seems like he puts himself in bad positions. Actually, that's something that he's been sort of, phasing himself out of. He's making a lot smarter choices now. When you combine those two things, you get a player like Rain or Jacob, and it's...
Well, can it be discussed? Oh, go ahead. Well, I mean...
It's crazy, and what's really crazy about a game like this is that it's not just like they've got like, what, 3 or 4 players at any given time that are all functioning at a high level? So
isn't that the beauty of CS, though, where it's like everybody can have their opinion on what was the right decision at that time, and maybe what looks like a wrong decision to us. In Jacob's mind, he's just like, no, I'm good enough, actually. That's the right decision. Like, in that last round, right, he just goes barreling onto the A side. He comes up short. There's a moment, and he's just like, yeah, okay, time to go, and just like runs in, wrecks the guy at forklift, wrecks the guy at quad, or pre-aims onto the side, wrecks that guy, and you're just like, he just goes, and it would have been at a time where it's just like, oh, wait, maybe he needs to wait a little bit for his teammates to come in to secure it, whatever. No, he's just like, actually, guys, I'm just going to completely take control of the situation.
And where does this leave them now coming into our second map, Overpass? TSM's choice. Matthew, how do you feel this one's going to play out nice and quickly?
Well, if it wasn't for the first map that we've seen, I would say TSM probably quite easily. But now the question is, how can TSM overcome the destruction they've just been witnessing? I would still favorite TSM, even though they had a pretty bad showing. I mean, I think they are like mature and professional enough to just like leave it on the side. Okay, guys, we lost the map that we were supposed to lose, if I can phrase it that way. Now this is our map, and they are probably feeling confident on the third map. So they're just going to say, okay, the best of 3 starts now. We win 2-0. That's it.
Auguste?
Very quick, I know, because we might have to go to the match. We spent a lot of time talking about Jacob, but right before we actually started to discuss the map, the main thing that we noticed was everybody's at 20 frags on G2. AZ, Fox, Michael, everybody is fragging on this team. So Jacob, he draws the eye because he's really got those high impact frags, he gets in your face, but everybody's just whittling away at the same level. So you actually have found 5 stars that cooperate and play together.
And you're cool on Overpass, nice and quick.
Call and overpass? No, I still think that TSM are going to win it. This is them. I think this is them hands down, and it's going to come to Mirage to settle this best of 3.
And Anders?
Yeah, I think TSM are used to be getting beat up on Cash by now, so I don't think they'll be that worried about it. I think Overpass is going to be their map. Yeah.
So the Death thinks we're going to see a third. The answer will be provided straight after this. A final thank you, of course, to Plays.tv for coming together to make this possible. After the break, guys, we'll be diving into our second map of our first semi-final here at the Intel Extreme Masters